Hello, I am Vanda Krause with eXp Realty. I've had the pleasure of meeting Miss Toni Sanders. Toni Sanders is with WFG Financial, and she was telling me about the awesome free financial workshops that they have. So I asked her to come on my channel so she can explain some of the benefits and what their company is doing. So, Miss Toni Sanders, how are you today?
Thank you, Vanda. I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm great, no complaints.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on your channel today. I think it's very important that we discuss the financial literacy campaign and how it's changing people's lives all across the United States and Canada today.
Nice, nice. Okay, so in these financial workshops are free.
Absolutely. They're all complimentary free. No matter how you slice and dice it, you don't have to pay in the money. And that's the cool thing about it, that the resources, and that's what I love, that anybody can take these resources, even little kids, if they can read and understand, let me tell you something, they can take these workshops. They generally start for about 18 years and up. However, I believe that if we start our kids young, they too can learn financial literacy.
Yeah, because that's something that they don't teach in school. And
No, ma'am.
we become adults and like, well, why didn't nobody teach me this? And
You're absolutely right. You know what I tell people? There's only 4 states really that mandate financial literacy in schools. Even more are starting to do it now because they see such a big problem. Even our government, there's a 1 month dedicated to financial literacy, and that's in April, but it's just simply not enough. So being a part of World System Builder, and we're on this national campaign for financial literacy, it's a big deal. It's very important. Our mission is to educate 30 million families by the year of 2030. Ms. Vanda, already in 2020 alone, we've already educated over 1.5 million families. So I'm so proud of that campaign. And something that you said really sparked me. And you said about teaching our kids. And this is something that I tell parents all the time. How can you teach your children something that you don't know?
hmm I
So
was
it's
a,
important.
excuse me, I was a part of A.L. Williams back in the day, and then it went to Primerica. So there was a book they gave us, and that was something that I made my children read.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. You're knocking on my door. So back in the day, A.L. Williams, you're absolutely correct. And then when it was sold, it actually sold to 2 different companies. Half the agents went to Primerica that we know of today, and the other agents went to what we call WMA back in the day, which is now World Financial Group.
Nice,
So
nice. I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am. So there is history there.
Good, good. Okay, so let's see what you have.
Absolutely. So before we get started, I'm just going to let people know that, this educational platform is so, so important. Okay. See, people are already calling me. So let me turn off my ringer so that I can give you all of me, you guys. And again, this campaign, you see the signs behind me talking about financial literacy, 30 by 30 campaign, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited to be a part of. We have tools too. These tools are for you to get educated. This is our proprietary book. It comes in 4 different languages. It's called Saving Your Future. It's less than 100 pages. Read it, apply it, implement these tools into your life. Along for our workshops, we have our workbook. This is interactive workshops. They're simple and easy for you to understand. One thing that I know for sure, Ms. Vanda, is most people, they don't want to, dive into learning about financial literacy because they think it's above their head. But I want you to know that these workshops are fun, they're interactive, and you're going to learn so much. So we do have a short presentation that I'm going to share. And then I believe that the viewers would then want to learn more and how they can also be a part of this amazing campaign. So I'm going to share my screen
Okay.
with you all, and hopefully I don't have any technical issues here. I'm one that I tell people all the time, hey, I can do a lot of things, Ms. Vanda, but when it comes to technology, I'm not that great, right? So
We're
can you
getting
see
there.
I know, right? We're forced to get there. So can you see my screen now?
I can.
Awesome. So I just want to share with you some things out of this presentation. The reason I chose this one is because it's an extension. This book is an extension of this. So I'm going to share with you some of the concepts that you'll be learning, not only in the workshops, but also when you read the blue book. And don't worry, you want a copy of that blue book? We're going to give you all the information so that you can get your complimentary copy of the tools so that you can attend the workshops. So let's get started because we don't want to waste any of the precious time that we have. First and foremost, the world is changing in unpredictable ways, right? So there's going to be challenges that people are facing. We have to teach people how to protect their life, their health and disability. How do they reduce their liability so they can get out of debt sooner? They're dealing with constant changes on their job, their career, and their businesses. I believe that if the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us that we have to have a plan A and a B and a C won't hurt. We're living a long time. Medical technology, we have to thank for that. But the problem is, the biggest thing that people ask me is, Toni, will I have enough money to live? So our solution is we want to show you how to build a financial house. You've got to build it with the protection, the debt management. You've got to have an emergency fund. And then the roof of the house, that's your investments. That's how you make your money make money for you. So we all go to work and we make some great income, but do you understand and know how to make your money work better for you? So when I'm talking to people about their financial house, I tell them it's like sitting in a chair. If you were to sit in a chair, Ms. Vanda, and one of the legs was missing, you would fall. It's not stable. So we're going to show you how to build a financial house that you can stand on no matter what happens. Pandemic who? No, we're going to be able to get through it all. See, people are making money, but do you know how to save money and grow money and protect the money that you already have? The one thing that people constantly ask me day in and day out is, Toni, how do I build wealth? And I said, you have to build wealth with responsibility. First and foremost, you got to have some money. How much money depends on how much time you have. So time is equivalent to money. You also have to have a positive rate of return, or the interest. How much interest are you getting on the money? You must get 5% or more to understand that you have to outpace and taxes and inflation. Those are the things that we call the silent killers. They kill our ability to build wealth. So as you see over here on the X curve of responsibility, while we're young, we're taking care of our family. Ms. Vanda, we're taking care of the house. We got to send these kids to college. We got to plan for our retirement. We're trying to pay off the car. We're trying to pay off other debt. Those are the financial responsibilities that we're taking care of while we're young. So as we're decreasing those responsibilities, we want to be able to increase our wealth at the same time, so that when we get to the older side, now we're more secure. We can own more of our income because we've taken care of the responsibilities when we were younger, and we've built up to when we get older and we're ready to retire. But most people will not even be able to retire. And I don't really think they're really thinking that, oh, I'm not going to be able to retire, because they're not planning properly. They're still operating in the younger side, even as they get older. Again, you must take care of your responsibilities while building your wealth at the same time. This rule right here, Ms. Vanda, it changed my life. So all of your viewers, you must understand how money works. It's the power of compound interest. It's called the rule of 72. This is a mathematical formula that was created by Albert Einstein, I'm told, to show us how money works. How long will it take for your money to double? You literally take the number of 72, you divide it by the interest rate, and the answer will tell you how long it takes for your money to double. So in the examples here that's shown, 72 divided by 4% is every 18 years. I don't know about you, Ms. Vanda, but I don't have a lot of 18 years left in my lifetime. So how about 72 divided by 8? That's every 9 years. But look at 72 divided by 12%. That's every 6 years, you guys. Now we're talking. And if you look at the numbers, 40,000, someone having 40,000 at retirement, you may be off 1 year and then you're going to head right back to work. 72 by 8, okay, 160,000. That's not a lot, but it's more than the first one. But now let's look to that last column. Now we have more money. See, it's never about how much money we make, but it's about how much money we keep. And when we keep our money, where are we keeping it at? Do you know that this rule can work for you, but it can also work against you? How? Well, if the bank is charging you 18% on your credit card, every 4 years, your credit card balance is doubling. That's how people are getting into credit card debt. So you want to make sure that you find a place that can give you enough interest so that you can make your money work for you. Let's play a little game, Ms. Vanda. I have some grandkids. You have some grandkids?
I do.
So guess what? For our young people, for our babies and our grandkids and our little children, let's give them a chance to win. This rule works. Let's assume that the banks gave us 1% interest. And we all know that the banks give what? Less than 0.5%. For illustration purposes, I'm going to say the bank gives us 1%. I'm going to give a little baby that's 1 year old $10,000. The parent's going to put it into their savings account, and let's see how long it's going to take for that 10,000 to become 20,000. Well, 72 divided by 1 is 72 years. Even a baby don't have 72 years to wait for their money to double.
Wow.
That's why knowing the rules of money is so important, Ms. Vanda.
So the next question is, where do you get 12% interest these days?
Absolutely. And I knew I could not wait for you to ask me that question. Because you know what? There's options out there that are available. But most people don't understand where to reposition their money. We only know about a few vehicles where you can put your money. So I'm going to go into detail in that. Just give me 1 second and I'm going to let you know.
Sure.
Now, let's talk about the real rate of return, the effect on taxes and inflation on your purchasing power. Remember what I said in the beginning? You must get 5% in order to outpace taxes and inflation. If you're not getting 5%, you're literally losing money. What do you mean, Toni? Well, let's look at example 1. We both started off with $100. Interest was 3%. You got to pay taxes. You have to consider inflation. So they ended up with $98.75. Well, they lost their principal. But in the example 2, the same $100, but they got 5% interest. They backed out in taxes, they backed out in inflation, but they were still able to keep their principal of $100 and even make a little bit more. So that's why I say you must get 5% or more to outpace taxes and inflation. Look, Ms. Vanda, look at the cost of living. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I know that this chart is old, but it's very relevant to what we're talking about today. It says the average income in 1978 was $17,000. Today, we're looking at about $55,000, $60,000, depending on where you are. East Coast, West Coast, down South, where you at? An average cost of a new house, they said was $54,000. Ms. Vanda, what's the cost of an average home today?
In Houston, it's $250,000.
$250,000, ladies and gentlemen. Rent, $260. Ms. Vanda, I don't know about you, but they can't even rent a room in my house for $260.
That's right.
Absolutely. Look, you guys, gas, 63 cents, a dozen of eggs, 48 cents. But even to the gentleman, a brand new car back in 1978 was $3,800. You can't even get your car repaired today for $3,800. The average cost of a brand new car today is $38,000. So let me ask you a question.
I graduated high school in 78.
Wow.
Those were the good old days.
The good old days, right? But look, the question is, are we winning or are we losing in the money game?
And now with them just giving that stimulus money, everything has shot up tremendously.
The inflation. I tell people that all the time, Ms. Vanda, that if you look at the cost of goods and services prior to the pandemic and now a year and a half after, oh my goodness. I just told my husband, sidebar, okay, this is a funny story, but it's true. I just told my husband this morning, honey, you want to go out on a date night tonight? He says, no, it's game night. I said, okay, I'll do some wings. And I said, guess what? I went to the grocery store. I tried to get 4 packs of wings. They said, ma'am, it's limited to 2.
You found wings. Last time I went, they didn't even have any wings.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But this is what we're dealing with in today's times, you guys. So look at this. You got to know your risk. You have to be certain in uncertain times. I know you guys want me to tell you right away, where am I going to get 12%? Where am I going to get a better interest rate? But know your risk, understand your risk tolerance, and know where you put your money. Let's take a look at Mr. A and Mr. B. They both have $100 to invest. Mr. A, the first year he gets 40%. The second year, he takes a hit of negative 20%. But on paper, he has 20% net. But look at Mr. B, Ms. Vanda. He also got 10% in the first year. The second year, he got another 10%. On paper, they both have 20%. But it's not the real rate of return. So let's look at it in dollars. Mr. A had $140 because he had started with 100. He got 40%, so that's $140. The second year, he took a negative 20%, so that's minus $28. So he was left with $112. But Mr. B, he got 10%. He got $10 the first year. The second year, he got $11. So now guess what? He's at $121. I don't know about you, but I want to invest where Mr. B is investing.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose any money. So you have to try to avoid market risk at all costs. Let me put this out there. As a financial professional and a fiduciary who has responsibilities to tell you this, that past performances doesn't equal future results. A lot of people think, oh, I want to jump into the market. I want to invest. I want to invest. Don't play with money that you don't have to lose. Know your options and know if you have time to recover. Young people have time to recover. As we get older, we don't have time to recover. You have to think about that. You have to know these things. And this is what we're going to teach you in our workshops. So pay yourself first. What do I mean? Pay yourself the first hour of every day. Nobody is more important than you and your family. You got to start saving early. Young people, 25, you can start saving $300. That's $3,600 a year. You can do it. You're talking about $10 a day. We spend $10 a day. Can you imagine if you saved that over the next 7 years at 8%? Your total contributions would have been $25,000. You stopped putting in money here, but because of the compounding interest, your money has grown to $128,000. Can you imagine if you would have kept saving? Now, your friend, on the other hand, they're going to say, you know what, Vanda, I'm not going to save right now. I'm going to party, but I'm going to put in at age 32, but I've got to put in for 17 years. Now their contribution is $61,000, more than double of what the friend put in. But look at how much money they have. They have $131,000. Because of time and procrastination, they had to put in more just to get what their friend got. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather put in $25,000 to get to $128,000.
And the government is giving them $300 a month still. So they didn't have that money before. Now they have the money, they can save it.
Yeah. And you know what? Can I be honest? Even before the stimulus, even before the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people were already in trouble. That you had to wait for a stimulus check, that you had to wait for a stimulus package. That's how I know that people are not educated. This is how I know that people need the services that we provide. See, everybody must have a budget. A budget is not restrictive. It just gives your dollars an assignment. Tell these dollars what to do. Show these dollars how to go to work for you so they can make money for you. If you don't save money today, money will not save you later. So that is a very good point. Everybody needs budgeting. And it brings me to the point of you gotta pay yourself first. If we just make a few changes, get a budget, sacrifice, are you willing to sacrifice today? What most people are not willing to, so that you can do the things that you want to do later. Ms. Vanda, you know what I find? Most people will plan for the weekend, but they don't want to plan for their future.
Nope.
They don't want to plan for their future. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just save $10 a day, that's $300 a month. At 8% over 30 years, young people, that's $500,000. If you're more disciplined and consistent, maybe a couple, maybe you guys are saving $20 a day. That's $600 a month at 8%. Over the next 30 years, that's $900,000. Can you just cut down on the following? Sodas and cigarettes and lattes and cable TV. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you have cable TV and you do not have a savings, we're in trouble. Bottled water, sweets, and new gadgets, buying a new cell phone every time one comes out, shopping, driving nice cars, and eating out and partying. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd like to do those things. And I do those things because I don't tell people to cut it out. I ask you to cut down. Have a budget and think about your future. Discipline and consistency is very, very important. That is one page that I recommend that we take out of the Wealthy's book, that they're very disciplined and they're very consistent. And these workshops will show you how to be that way. Now let's look at this.
Miss
This
Toni,
is one thing.
let me ask you a
Yeah,
question. What do you
yes,
tell
ma'am.
someone, a young person that says, well, I may not live to be old and I want to, spend the money now because I may not live to be old?
Nobody knows that day or time or hour, but even single people, young people, take my advice. Tomorrow is not promised, but we have to think about leaving that legacy of generational wealth for our children's children. You say, Toni, I don't have any children, but you do have a family. And if we want to be the change that we want to see, if you want to change the narrative in our communities, this is what we have to do. Even if I'm not here, I have to think about the people that I love. That's what I'm doing this for. I'm not just being selfish and doing it for me. I'm doing it for my community. I'm doing it for the people I love, my family and my friends. And if you do, the question is, Ms. Vanna, but what if they do? What are you going to do when you spent all your money?
Yeah, that's what I say. Well, what if you do?
What if you do? So you cannot live just for today. You have to think about for tomorrow. But there's a way to do both. You don't have to just be one way. Hey, there's a way that you can do both. And the workshops will teach you and show you how to do that. But one thing that I want to leave everybody with, Ms. Vanda, is please, let's make sure that we take care of ourselves and our families. Make sure that we have proper protection, which is the foundation of everything that we do. How do we do that? And how do we come up with that number? Well, you got to take care of your family. I don't care if you're single, married, divorced, a business owner, a homeowner. Let me show you something. So they always ask, Toni, well, how much insurance do I need? Well, first and foremost, there's two formulas that we use in the industry. The first one is 10 times your salary is enough for protection. 20 times your salary is enough for retirement. And most people don't even know how much they're going to need for retirement. So I just gave you the formula, do the calculations. The other formula is called the DIME. The DIME stands for a debt, income, mortgage, and education. Whatever debt you have, let's put it in a pot. The income times 10 years, let's put it in a pot. Generally speaking, 10 years will be enough for your family to get back on their feet, because especially if you're the breadwinner and a family loses your income, what do you expect for them to do? The third one, mortgage. Ms. Vanda, people aren't protecting their mortgage. They're not protecting their mortgage. I tell people, you're not a homeowner, you're a mortgage owner. You have to protect the mortgage. It's not yours until you pay it off. So Lord forbid, if something were to happen prematurely, let's make sure there's enough to pay off the mortgage so the family can still stay in their home. You want to leave this as a legacy? Have mortgage protection. And another thing, if you live, now insurance has benefits for your mortgage so that you can too accelerate the death benefit while you're living. Because if you get sick, I'm talking about chronic or terminally ill, and you're not able to work, how are you going to pay your mortgage? This is what people are not thinking about. How about education? You know, when my daughter was young, Ms. Vanda, I still wanted enough in case something happened to me prematurely. There was money for her set aside for her to go to school. There's also college planning programs that your kids can get in starting in the second semester of 8th grade. Did you know that kids are finishing college with a lot of debt, and debt is becoming a way of life? So we've got to change. The resources are available today. See, most people have good protection on their house, their car, but few have it on the ones they love. There's too many GoFundMe's out there, you guys. Let's take responsibility and take care of our own families. But the question is, are you insurable? See, I don't know if you're aware, but 1 in 2 men will develop a cancer and 1 in 4 will die. 1 in 3 women will develop cancer and 1 in 5 will die. An estimated 80 million Americans will develop one or more type of heart disease. And at that point, you're uninsurable. The insurance company says, Ms. Vanda, oh, you're damaged goods. We're not going to be able to help you. Healthcare. This is a huge one, ladies and gentlemen. Healthcare costs for a retired couple that's 65. That's about $200,000. I don't know about you, but I don't see a lot of couples with $200,000 set aside for healthcare. If you need a nursing home, ladies and gentlemen, that cost is about $500,000. I know my mom has been in the healthcare industry for 40 years, doing home health care. The average cost of a facility is about $7,000. I have people calling me every single day, telling me the challenges that they're going through with their own parents. Ladies and gentlemen, please create a plan for not only your parents, but you for long-term care. That number is 70% of seniors will need some form of long-term care, but young people, that number is 48% for you. Young people get sick too. So people must prepare unless they die too soon. But what about if they live too long? And then what if they're half dead and half alive? See, the information that we provide in this financial campaign is so important for everybody to understand. I'll leave you with a couple more things. Number one, you have to know where you put your money and how it's going to affect you. Are you putting your money in a tax now, tax later, or tax advantage account? Let me show you how to reposition that. Take our workshops so that you can understand what I'm talking about. See, this is what I tell people, Vanda. You don't have to do what I do, but you must know what I know. And there's too many people out here who are highly educated, professionally successful, but financially illiterate. We've got to change that. So I want to invite you to be a part of this amazing campaign. I'm going to leave my contact information so that you can do 4 things. Ask yourself these questions. Number 1, is my money in a place where it can grow to achieve my goals? Number 2, is it safe enough that I won't lose any money when the market crashes? How about number 3? Does it have tax advantages? Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop complaining that the wealthy get all the tax advantages when there's tax advantages that we can take advantage of as well. And then the last one, please have proper protection for your family. There's nobody more important than you and your family. So let's reduce your debt, pay yourself first, make more money, build equity, and preserve your estate. We all need an estate plan. Parents that have kids that are underage, you need a will. You have to let your last wishes be known. You need guardianship for your children. Homeowners, you must have a trust. A lot of things we can put a beneficiary on, but a house is one we cannot. So please, let's all document our last wishes, get educated, and then be the change that we want to see. So I invite you again to join our campaign. Mrs. Vanda, I thank you so much for allowing me to share with your audience this morning. My hope and my prayer is people will take action and change their financial futures today.
Thank you. I have a question about your financial workshops.
Yes,
are they virtual, or is this something that I have to go to in person?
So they're actually both. Prior to COVID, of course, we were in the office, but now they are hybrid. You can catch a workshop 2 times a day, Monday through Fridays, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So they're 2 times a week. The only day we don't do 7 o'clock in the evening virtually is on Wednesday nights. But today there's a workshop at 1 p.m. and there's also another workshop at 7 p.m. today and tomorrow. So there's plenty of opportunity for your audience to definitely attend the workshops.
So how will we get information on the workshops?
Absolutely. I'm going to give it to you and I want you to send it out. We have a calendar that comes out every single month. There's 6 workshops and you can just take them as many times as you'd like. And there's a link to register. The only thing that I would definitely say about when registering for the workshops, please pay close attention that generally speaking, the workshops, especially on your mobile device, when you register, they're going to be in Pacific Standard Time. And if you're on Central Standard Time, make sure that you include the 2 hours, that we're 2 hours ahead. So it's going to say 11 a.m., but it's at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. And in the evening, it's going to say 5 o'clock, but it's 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you do it on your computer, then you can change the zones, the time zone that you're in so that it will reflect where you are. So I would definitely send you the calendar over so that your audience can please attend the workshops. You can attend as many times as you like. And let me just throw this out there to your audience as well. You know, because I'm a financial education instructor, I'm passionate about this campaign. I want to offer each and every one of you an opportunity to get our tools and materials that you'll need. All you have to do is send me a text, send me an email, and I'll be sure to get these to you. Also, I'll offer each and every person person under the sound of my voice a complimentary personal financial strategy. I truly believe that people need to know where they are and where they're going. That's about a $500 to $1,000 value. If you've never had one done, I encourage you to have your financial needs analysis completed. It will definitely give you insight again on where you are and where you're going. And if there's any holes or gaps in your plan, let's figure them out so that we can get you on track to financial freedom and financial independence.
Thank you, Toni. And how can we reach you?
Absolutely. You can reach me. I'm on all the social media platforms under Toni Sanders, on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm not big of a Twitter, but you can also reach me by phone and text. My number is 281-898-4018. And you can also email me at Toni Sanders, that's Toni Sanders, Sanders, WFG at gmail.com.
Great, thank you. And I just want to mention the financial workshops that you have. You have increased cash flow, debt management, emergency fund, proper protection, savings and wealth, asset accumulation strategies, funding for college, university, retirement planning, utilizing investment vehicles, your health and wealth and estate preservation, and more. So I don't have to attend all of them. I can pick and choose the ones that are important for me, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I would encourage you to attend each and every one of them. They are most valuable to you. And the beauty about it also, Ms. Vanda, is you don't have to go in chronological order. One is not a prerequisite for the other. So perhaps you start tonight and it's not workshop one. You can bounce around and do them at your convenience. But I encourage you to please take them all. And then after that, let's take action. Contact me so that we can get you started on your financial journey. The mission is just simple. We just want to build and protect wealth for families.
I'm not funding anybody's college or university right now, so that's one I would skip.
Absolutely. But you know what I
My
find?
kids are grown.
Yeah, but you know what I find is even your clients, if you have clients, that are in that age group that are college bound or going to college, it's just a wealth of knowledge that you can be able to share. And
Sure.
what I tell the other realtors too, it's a great thing for you to introduce to your clients. What's going to separate you from the other agents is giving your clients some tools that can enhance their financial future. So I think it's great.
You're correct. You're correct. Thank you. Well,
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. I love the information and I hope this is helpful to everyone.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on your show.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.